Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on something really critical, a rapidly evolving frontier in self-defense and tactical readiness. We're talking about the profound shift towards pistol-mounted optics.
That's right.
And look, this isn't just about some new gadget. Think of this as an investigative journey. We're looking into a technology that's gone from, well, what some saw as a cutting-edge novelty
Hmm.
to what is now really an essential tool. It's fundamentally changing how people approach precision, speed, confidence,
Hmm.
especially when seconds count.
When lives are literally on the line.
Exactly. So our mission here for this deep dive, it's clear. We need to dissect the most vital insights from the material we've gathered. We want to show why these optics aren't just some minor upgrade.
No, not at all.
They are, as the evidence suggests, a proven, undeniable performance multiplier, especially in those really high-stakes, high-stress situations.
And that's precisely the urgent truth, isn't it? That's the core of what we need to talk about today. What we're seeing, it's an accelerating adoption, almost universal now, of these miniaturized red dot sights, MRDS.
Right, MRDS.
Across the whole spectrum of tactical use. You see it with elite military units operating globally,
Sure.
frontline law enforcement officers on our streets, and, increasingly among responsible civilian gun owners too, people who prioritize effective self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
All of them are recognizing and really embracing a distinct, measurable advantage. This is, like you said, more than just a trend.
It feels like a fundamental shift.
It absolutely is. It's a demonstrable, you could say, scientifically validated enhancement of human performance, something that traditional iron sights, well, for all their history and reliability,
They're reliable, sure.
they are, but they simply cannot match this level of performance. They just don't match it in those critical, life-defining moments.
Okay, let's unpack this then with the seriousness it demands. Let's start by facing the stark physiological realities of high-stress encounters.
Yeah, the human factor.
Exactly. Picture a scenario, it could be anything, really. A sudden, violent self-defense incident at home, maybe an active threat response in public.
Or combat overseas, yeah.
Right. In those moments, the human body isn't just thinking rationally, it's reacting. Primal survival mechanisms kick in.
Fight, flight.
Your heart rate doesn't just climb, it skyrockets. We're talking past 180 beats per minute easily.
Hmm.
Your vision starts to narrow, that classic tunnel vision people describe. Peripheral details just blur, they fade away.
Focus narrows intensely.
And your fine motor skills, they degrade significantly. Complex tasks become incredibly difficult. Maybe most critical, your brain's ability to process complex information, to juggle different things at once, it just diminishes dramatically.
A bit of overload.
It's a total system overload. And in that context, this unforgiving reality, one truth just becomes crystal clear. Simplicity isn't just nice to have. Simplicity is survival. The fewer complex mental hoops you have to jump through, the better your chances of acting effectively, decisively, and crucially, precisely.
Hey, that brings us straight to what we call the iron sight challenge. This historical reliance on something that, well, it served its purpose for decades.
Sure, generations use them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's fundamentally at odds with how we naturally respond under extreme stress. Traditional iron sights, rugged as they are, they demand this very specific, and here's the key, cognitively taxing alignment process, the trifocal alignment.
Trifocal. Okay, explain that.
Right. So to get an accurate shot with irons, the shooter has to constantly, rapidly shift focus. First, you see the threat, okay? Then you must consciously shift your focus to the front sight post, make it sharp and clear.
Right, the little post right near the muzzle.
Exactly. Then you have to align that sharp front sight perfectly inside the notch of the rear sight, which should be slightly blurry.
Okay, 3 points. Well, 2 sights and the target.
3 focal planes, really. Rear sight, front sight, target. And only after you get that precise alignment do you then reconfirm your target picture as you start pressing the trigger.
That sounds complex, just describing it.
It is complex. This continuous rapid refocusing between these 3 distinct planes, it's incredibly demanding. It eats up precious cognitive bandwidth.
Bandwidth you need for other things.
Exactly. Bandwidth that should be entirely focused on assessing the threat, making decisions, understanding what else is happening around you.
Situational awareness.
Right. And what's really fascinating, and maybe the biggest problem, is that this whole process, it's not congruent with how our eyes inherently behave under stress.
How so?
Well, when that adrenaline hits, we are hardwired to lock our vision onto threats. Our eyes instinctively fixate on the danger, the source of the problem.
Makes sense from a survival standpoint.
Totally. But iron sights force us to actively fight that instinct, override it. You have to pull your focus away from the threat onto that tiny metal post inches from your face.
So you're adding layers of complexity mentally and physically.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Adding complexity to an already overwhelming, chaotic situation. You're fighting your own biology, in a way.
Okay, so if iron sights are essentially working against our natural stress response,
Yes.
then the MRDS solution, the red dot sight, this sounds like a completely revolutionary shift. Like it's designed to work with our instincts, not against them.
That's a perfect way to put it. It complements our primal threat responses. With a properly zeroed optic, the entire aiming process changes fundamentally.
How so?
The shooter no longer has to align those 3 separate points or focal planes. Instead, you place the red dot, that single bright, luminous point of aim,
Right.
directly onto the target. And here's the game-changing part. You remain threat-focused the entire time.
So your eyes stay locked on the danger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're not shifting focus back and forth, back and forth. Your eyes are on the threat, and the dot is just superimposed, visually, right on it, on the same focal plane.
Ah, okay. So it completely eliminates that need to align 3 different things at different distances.
Completely gone. It's streamlined, almost intuitive, really. And that frees up your brain to focus on the things that really matter in a life or death situation, the threat's actions, bystanders, escape routes.
Decision-making.
Decision-making, exactly.
So what are the immediate tangible benefits then, especially when someone is under that peak stress, performance degrading?
The benefits are profound. First, significantly faster sight acquisition. Even under extreme cognitive load, tunnel vision, maybe auditory exclusion.
Right, where sounds get muffled.
Yeah. That red dot is immediately there in your field of view, right on the target. It cuts out those precious milliseconds you'd otherwise spend searching for in aligning iron sights.
Okay, speed. What else?
Second, improved shot placement. And this is absolutely critical because it's precisely when stress compromises your fine motor control and precision the most.
Right, when you need accuracy the most.
That's when the dot helps you maintain it. Hits become more reliable, more centered, more effective.
Makes sense. And you mentioned a third.
Yes. And this one is huge for overall survival. Enhanced peripheral awareness. Because the red dot allows you to keep both eyes open.
Which is natural, right? We use both eyes normally.
Exactly. It's our natural state for survival. Keeping both eyes open and focused on the broader threat environment means you gain and retain a significantly wider field of view.
So you see more of what's happening around you.
Way more. You can track multiple potential threats. You can detect subtle movements in your periphery. You maintain a much better understanding of the whole situation, all while keeping your aim point directly on the primary target.
That sounds like a massive advantage.
It is. And if we look at the data, it's not just compelling, it's transformative. Look at force-on-force training.
Right, the realistic simulation training.
Yeah, meticulously designed simulations. Real role players, simulated firearms, dynamic, unpredictable scenarios, real stress. This isn't theory. It's data gathered under conditions meant to mirror actual combat stress.
Okay, so what did they find?
Officers using red dot-equipped handguns showed, on average, a 23% increase in speed to first shot.
23% faster.
Nearly a quarter faster to get that critical first round on target. And maybe even more staggering, a 36% increase in head accuracy under stress compared to officers using traditional iron sights.
Wow, 36% more accurate under stress.
Under stress. And think about what these numbers actually mean. These aren't just scores on a drill. That 23% speed increase, that could be the difference between stopping an attack or being overwhelmed.
Life or death.
For law enforcement, it might mean neutralizing a threat before more harm is done. For a civilian, that vital second to protect your family, and 36% better accuracy.
Fewer missed shots.
Fewer missed shots, more effective neutralization, reduced risk of hitting bystanders. It translates directly to a higher probability of survival and a safer outcome for everyone. It's faster, more precise, and you're more aware. It's a trifecta.
Those numbers, 23% faster, 36% more accurate under stress, like you said, they're more than just stats. When you really think about what that means in a real dynamic, scary situation, the implications are just huge. It's not about winning on the range. It's the real difference in a chaotic incident. That fraction of a second faster could save your life or someone else's.
Absolutely.
And that jump in accuracy under duress, that means stopping the threat effectively, minimizing danger to others, making sure your actions are decisive and, frankly, ethically sound when the stakes couldn't be higher.
Exactly.
It really speaks to a tool that doesn't just add a feature, but fundamentally boosts human performance right when you desperately need
And
it.
it works with you, not against you.
Okay, so if the red dot is such a game changer in the heat of the moment, what about the long game? Let's shift focus now. Let's talk about the impact MRDS has on the process of learning, on skill development. Does it actually shorten the path to getting good?
That's another huge area where these optics are revolutionary.
Because for decades, one of the biggest hurdles in firearms instruction, especially for new shooters, right? It's mastering sight alignment.
Oh, absolutely. It's complex, it requires fine motor control, lots of cognitive effort, thousands of reps, and it can be really frustrating. Leads to slow progress for many people starting out.
Yeah, I can see that.
And this is precisely where red dots offer a massive advantage for beginners. It's a paradigm shift. They essentially mitigate this entirely. They remove that primary cognitive bottleneck.
How so?
Well, think about it. A novice doesn't need to simultaneously juggle aligning that tiny front sight and the rear sight notch while also managing grip, stance, and a smooth trigger press.
Right, that's a lot to think about at once.
It is. The red dot simplifies the aiming part drastically. It becomes almost intuitive. The sequence is much simpler. Present the gun, find the dot, place it on the target. Done.
Find the dot, put it on the target.
Exactly. And because that aiming part is simplified, instructors can immediately focus on other absolutely critical fundamentals that sometimes get lulled attention early on. Things like meticulous trigger discipline,
Crucial.
establishing and keeping solid grip integrity, proper follow-through after the shot breaks.
So the foundation gets stronger faster.
Precisely. The result is more meaningful reps in training because the aiming isn't the main struggle. Fewer early failures, which means less discouragement, and honestly, much less frustration for the student.
You mentioned data on this, too.
Oh, yeah. The data is compelling. Multiple training organizations report that the red dot shortens the learning curve by 30–50% in beginner students compared to iron sight training.
30 to 50%.
Yes, especially in key drills like drawing and getting the first hit and making fast follow-up shots. It's a dramatic acceleration in proficiency.
That's huge. It basically democratizes competence.
It really does. For an individual, it means getting self-defense ready faster, with more confidence. For agencies, it means more efficient training, maybe less range time needed, getting better trained officers out there sooner, saves resources, improves outcomes.
Okay, that's fascinating for beginners. It makes total sense. But what about people who are already good? Shooters who've spent years, maybe decades, mastering iron sights. Is it just a small improvement for them? Or does it genuinely elevate their game too? Does it push the boundaries of mastery?
That's a great question. For intermediate and advanced shooters, the MRDS isn't just an aiming advantage. It becomes an incredible diagnostic tool. It offers deeper diagnostic feedback that's hard to get otherwise.
How does that work?
Because you have that bright dot projected onto the target, both the shooter and an instructor can actually observe minute dot movement during the trigger press.
Ah, you can see wobble or dip visually?
Exactly. You can instantly visually identify subtle flaws that might otherwise be hidden or just felt subconsciously. Things like anticipating the recoil and pushing the muzzle down. Flinching just before the shot breaks. Tiny grip shifts that throw the shot off. The dot's movement gives immediate, undeniable visual feedback. It accelerates correction and refinement like nothing else.
So it helps break plateaus for experienced shooters.
Absolutely. And beyond diagnostics, it unlocks new levels of advanced application. Shooters can work on faster transitions between multiple targets. Why? Because finding a single bright dot again is much faster and less mentally taxing than realigning two iron posts on each new threat.
Especially if targets are at different distances.
Precisely. Or require quick reaction. They can also really focus on maintaining sight picture through recoil, keeping that dot visible and tracking on target even during rapid fire. That's key for fast, accurate follow-up shots.
And shooting while moving. This seems like a big one.
Huge. Practicing shooting on the move while maintaining dot tracking. Engaging targets while you're moving dynamically. Staying stable. Keeping the dot on target despite your own motion. That's a critical real-world skill.
And you mentioned programs like Valortec.
Yes. Good programs like Valortec really lean into this. They integrate layered complexity. They don't just teach you to shoot with a dot on a square range. They combine movement, low light conditions, threat identification, decision-making under stress.
Wielding skills that work in the real world.
Exactly. Building durable, real-world skills that function under pressure, under imperfect conditions, not just flat-range proficiency.
So it really is a dual benefit then. It makes it easier for beginners to get competent quickly.
Right.
And at the same time, it gives experienced shooters a tool to diagnose problems and push their skills to an even higher level more efficiently.
It's an evolution for everyone involved in shooting, truly. It shortens the path to mastery across the board.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly. We've talked mechanics, we've talked training. Let's get into the why at a deeper level. What's the underlying science? The biology, the neurology that makes these MRDS so effective, especially when human perception is compromised by stress. It can't just be about seeing a dot, right?
No, it goes much deeper. It ties directly into the biology of vision under stress. This is critical. When you're in that high adrenaline state, your autonomic nervous system takes over.
Fight or flight kicks in hard.
Right. And that triggers physiological responses, including major shifts in vision. We mentioned tunnel vision, peripheral field narrows, colors might seem less vibrant, focus intensifies. Your pupils also dilate dramatically, trying to let in more light.
Okay.
But maybe most profoundly, under pressure, our eyes instinctively do something called foveal fixation. We are hardwired to lock our central sharpest vision onto whatever we perceive as the biggest threat.
Stare right at the danger.
Exactly. It's a survival mechanism. Yeah. Now, remember the challenge with iron sight.
Yeah, they force you to break that fixation.
Precisely. They demand you break this instinct. You have to pull your focus away from the threat, onto the front sight, make it sharp, align it with the blurry rear sight, then try to shift back to the target.
Which takes time and effort.
And it requires constant muscular effort from the lens in your eye to accommodate. That's the technical term for changing focus between different distances. This adds latency, delay, and increases the chance of misalignment or missing crucial cues from the threat.
Okay, so how does the MRDS fit with foveal fixation?
This is the genius part. It works with it. The MRDS allows you to remain threat-focused. Your eyes are already locked on the threat, doing what they naturally want to do. The dot is just visually superimposed on that same focal plane.
So the dot appears at the same distance as the threat?
Visually, yes. So there's no need for accommodation, no need for your eye muscles to constantly refocus. Your eyes stay relaxed, focused on the danger, and the aiming point is right there.
Less eye strain, less mental effort.
Which directly translates to faster, more accurate decision-making. You save cognitive resources, you save time, you make better choices in those critical moments.
That makes perfect sense. So it works with your focused vision. But what about the bigger picture? Seeing the whole environment. You mentioned peripheral awareness earlier.
Right, and that connects to ocular dominance and binocular advantage. A huge benefit of red dots is that you can and should keep both eyes open while aiming.
Unlike iron sights, where often people close one eye.
Exactly. Many people find they need to squint or close one eye with irons to get a really clear sight picture, to eliminate conflicting visual information. But keeping both eyes open with a red dot offers massive advantages.
Such as?
First, a much wider field of view. You're simply seeing more of your surroundings, not just that narrow tunnel dictated by sights. That means spotting secondary threats, escape routes, innocence.
Crucial information.
Absolutely. Second, improved depth perception. Both eyes working together gives your brain much better information to judge distances accurately. How far away is that threat? Is there cover nearby?
Right.
And third, faster motion detection. Our binocular vision is way better at picking up movement, especially in the periphery. You react faster to changes to new threats appearing.
So overall, situational awareness is just fundamentally better.
Dramatically better. And think about law enforcement and civilian self-defense scenarios. Things rarely happen in isolation. Multiple variables or threats may appear at once. Having that comprehensive awareness isn't just an advantage, it's essential for survival and for making safe, effective decisions. You're not just aiming, you're processing the entire scene.
Okay, awareness is key. What about challenging light? That's another huge factor where traditional sights can really struggle.
Oh, absolutely. This is where red dots truly shine literally. We call it reduced lighting, greater clarity. Think about low light, twilight, deep shadows.
Or moving from bright outside to dark inside?
Or vice versa, yeah. Transitional light, dusk, dawn, or being backlit where the target is bright but you're in shadow. In all these conditions, traditional black iron sights can just disappear. They become incredibly hard to see, hard to align. They just blend into the background.
Making them almost useless.
Pretty much. The MRDS, though, with its illuminated reticle, provides a clear, bright aiming reference that stays visible and distinct, pretty much regardless of the ambient light.
So you always have an aiming point.
You always have a clear aiming point. This means faster engagement from ready positions, even in near darkness. It gives shooters greater confidence in partial visibility environments.
And does this translate to safety improvements too?
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's solid data here as well. Agencies that have adopted red dot systems consistently report a measurable reduction in missed shots and negligent discharges during night training blocks.
Fewer misses and fewer accidents.
Exactly. It underscores a critical improvement in both safety and effectiveness. Better reliability, less risk, more confidence for operators working in the toughest visual conditions.
So putting it all together, the science really backs this up. The effectiveness of MRDS seems deeply rooted in working with our natural human physiology, our vision, our stress response, rather than forcing us to fight against it.
That's the core of it.
It creates an aiming system that actually enhances our performance when we're most vulnerable, when it truly matters. It's an elegant solution, amplifying our natural abilities.
Well said.
Okay, but like any major technological shift, especially in a field like this where reliability is paramount,
Yeah.
there's bound to be skepticism. Valid questions get raised.
Of course.
So, let's tackle the counterpoints and red dot myths. The biggest one, the elephant in the room, is always, what happens when the technology fails? What if the battery dies? What if the lens gets blocked? Is this a real worry? And how is it actually dealt with?
It's absolutely a valid question and one that needs an honest answer.
Yeah.
Yes, red dots can fail. They're electronic devices, batteries die, lenses can get obscured by rain, mud, snow, fog,
Or damage.
or damaged in rare cases. Sure, electronic components can malfunction, but, and this is the crucial pinnacle, traditional iron sights can also fail.
That's true. They can get bent, knocked off, broken.
Exactly. They can be damaged, obstructed, or become unusable in certain conditions, like the low light we just talked about. The key difference, and what makes red dots reliable for serious use, isn't about pretending they're infallible.
It's about redundancy.
It's about the unwavering emphasis on training for redundancy. It's not about hoping the tech never fails. It's about making damn sure the user is prepared for any contingency and can still be effective.
Okay, training for redundancy. That sounds critical, especially when lives depend on it. Break that down for us. What does that actually involve? What specific drills, techniques, protocols are taught to ensure that reliability, even if the primary optic goes down?
Right. Good comprehensive training programs, like the ones Valortec offers, are designed specifically to address these potential failure points and build a truly resilient shooter. First, the foundation is usually co-witness backup sights.
So iron sights that you can still see through the optic window?
Exactly. Usually mounted a bit lower on the slide, but intentionally visible through the optics window. If that dot disappears, battery dies, lens cracks, whatever, you simply shift your focus slightly, maybe adjust your head position fractionally, and you pick up your iron sights.
And it keeps shooting.
And keep shooting. The transition needs to be trained so it becomes almost seamless, instinctive under stress. It's not just having the backup sights, it's drilling that switch.
Okay, so backup irons are step one. What else?
Step two, and this is critical, dedicated dot failure drills. These aren't just casual practice. They are rigorous, high-repetition exercises designed to teach you how to keep engaging effectively if that dot vanishes mid-fight.
What does that look like? Aiming without a dot.
It involves techniques like using the optic body itself, the housing, as a large ghost ring for quick, close-range alignment, or simply focusing intensely on the target and relying on your natural point shooting ability, your body's indexing of the firearm, which gets refined through repetition. You learn to get effective hits even without that precise aiming point.
Building instinctual shooting skills as a backup.
Exactly.
Okay.
Third, and this is basic but vital for preventing failures, relentless emphasis on battery and equipment checks.
Maintenance.
Proactive maintenance. Establishing a routine. Knowing your optics battery life. Changing batteries before they die on a schedule. Visually inspecting the optic, the lens, the mounting, before every training session or deployment. Treating it like the critical life-saving gear it is.
Makes sense. Prevent the problem in the first place.
Right. And finally, there are specific indexing techniques. These are more advanced methods taught to help you quickly reacquire the dot doing unorthodox draws or positions.
Like if you're shooting from an awkward spot.
Exactly. Maybe you're shooting from cover, or you had a slightly imperfect draw under pressure and the dot isn't immediately in the window. There are subtle techniques, a slight lean, a tiny head tilt, a micro adjustment of the wrist that experienced instructors teach to bring that dot instantly back into view. Builds adaptability.
And many optics have that shake-awake feature now too, right?
Yes, that's another big factor. Shake-awake technology means the dot turns on instantly with movement, so you don't have to worry about forgetting to turn it on, and it conserves battery when the gun is still.
So this whole approach, it's not really about the optic failing.
It's about building a more robust, adaptable shooter overall. These drills, this mindset, they make you better regardless of the aiming system, ready for more contingencies.
So it reframes the whole issue. It's not a limitation of the tech. It's a testament to a holistic approach to readiness.
Precisely.
It moves away from just fearing failure towards embracing comprehensive, proactive preparedness, reinforcing that fundamental truth. Any tool, no matter how fancy, is only as good as the person using it and their training, especially in handling contingencies.
You have to be ready for anything.
Because anything is often what happens. Okay, let's shift now to the ultimate test. The irrefutable proof. Real-world application under the most extreme pressure imaginable.
Where the theory meets reality.
Exactly. Training stats are one thing, but validation in the crucible of genuine experience, that's undeniable. This is where it gets really interesting, where the difference is literally life or death. Tell us about a specific case study from the field.
Happy to. We have the case study, application in the field involving Officer R. He's a patrol veteran, 6 years on the job. And his experience perfectly highlights the real-world impact.
Okay.
This wasn't training. This was a routine traffic stop that suddenly violently escalated into a gunfight. Just like that.
The nightmare scenario.
Exactly. Fortunately, Officer R had recently gone through a thorough red dot transition course, and that training paid off instantly under unimaginable pressure. He specifically, explicitly credited the MRDS with allowing him to acquire the suspect visually and deliver an accurate round under movement in less than 1.2 seconds from the draw.
Under 1.2 seconds, from draw to accurate hit while moving.
While moving, under fire.
Yeah.
From recognizing the threat, drawing, getting an effective hit on a moving suspect. Less time than it takes us to even describe it. That's blinding speed when milliseconds separate living from dying. But even more powerful than the time, listen to his own words. His testimony captures the simplicity and clarity the optic provided in that chaotic split-second moment. He said, and I quote, "I saw the hands, saw the gun, saw the dot. The decision was clear."
Wow. Saw the hands, saw the gun, saw the dot. Decision clear.
Think about that. It stripped away the complexity, eliminated ambiguity. It gave him an unmistakable aiming solution right when his life depended on it. Being able to instantly focus on the dot, overlaid on the threat, freed up his brain to process the critical elements hands, gun, and make that clear, decisive, life-saving action.
That's about as powerful a testament as you can get. Direct, raw experience.
Performance under pressure, enabled by the right tool and the right training.
One incredible story, powerful as it is, could still be seen as an anecdote, right? An outlier. Is Officer R's experience isolated, or is it part of a bigger verifiable trend? Is there hard data to back this up across the board?
It is absolutely part of a larger, undeniable trend. And yes, the quantitative data backs it up conclusively. Officer R's experience, while dramatic, is echoed and validated by findings from a significant multi-agency study.
Okay, a broader look.
Exactly. This research gathered data from numerous law enforcement agencies that have adopted MRDS systems. And it provides the compelling statistical evidence that validates these individual stories on a systemic level.
And what did the study find?
It found that officers equipped with MRDS had a 43% higher likelihood of first-round hit accuracy in real-world scenarios.
43% higher first-round hit probability in actual shooting.
In actual real-world lethal force encounters, not on the range, when it counts. Let that sink in.
Yeah.
A 43% higher chance of getting that critical first shot on target effectively.
The implications are staggering.
They are. It means less exposure to danger for the officer, quicker, more decisive end to the threat. Significantly safer outcomes for everyone involved, including bystanders. It means fewer rounds fired overall to resolve the situation, reducing risk. It's the ultimate proof that these optics, when combined with proper training, are a profound, life-saving game changer.
It's hard to argue with that kind of real-world data. A 43% improvement in first-round accuracy during actual incidents? That's not just technical superiority.
No.
It's the tangible difference these optics and the right training make. Enhancing safety, enhancing effectiveness for law enforcement, for military, and yes, for responsible citizens who might face that worst-case scenario. It really is about unlocking peak performance when there are no second chances.
That sums it up perfectly.
So as we bring this deep dive to a close, the main findings seem incredibly clear, almost startlingly consistent. Red dot optics. They aren't just some fancy upgrade.
Far from it.
They are proven, verified performance multipliers. The advantages seem unmatched across all the key areas we've looked at today. Speed, precision under duress, faster learning, better diagnostics for experts, and that critical, validated, real-world performance.
Couldn't agree more. But, and this is the crucial takeaway, the non-negotiable part, like any powerful tool, they are only as good as the person using them and the training they receive. That brings us right back to the indispensable role of comprehensive, specialized, demanding training.
You can't just buy skill.
Absolutely not. The optic gives you the mechanical and physiological edge, no doubt, but it's the human behind it, honed through purposeful, dedicated practice, who makes it truly effective, reliable, and decisive under pressure.
And that really underscores the importance, for you listening, of getting that purposeful, dedicated training to actually harness this power, turn that potential advantage into proven, reliable capability.
Exactly, and that's where good programs like Valortec's Red Dot Pistol Training Program become so vital. They go way beyond just slapping an optic on your gun.
It's a whole system.
It's a whole system. They're structured to build true mastery. You learn efficient draw and dot acquisition techniques, getting that gun out and the dot on target seamlessly, instantly. You practice complex target transitions and movement with optics, learning to operate dynamically. There's intensive work on recoil management and tracking, keeping that dot on target through rapid fire.
And the failure drills we talked about.
Absolutely critical. Mastering those fail-safe protocols for optics failure. Building that redundancy, that confidence that you can handle anything.
So whether you're part of an agency making the switch, or you're a concealed carrier looking for that edge in personal protection, seeking real mastery,
these kinds of courses are designed to sharpen your skills, build that real tactical confidence.
it comes back to that Valortec philosophy, doesn't it? Clarity isn't just what you see, it's how you perform when it matters most.
That hits the nail on the head.
And as we wrap up, thinking about how profoundly a technology like pistol optics can impact performance, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? It raises a final question for you, the listener, to maybe mull over. What other things in our lives, maybe dismissed initially as novelties or gadgets, might actually hold the key to unlocking significant advantages? Things just waiting for focused attention, an open mind, and that purposeful training to reveal their true potential.